Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Ayleen, and this is another day in 2020, dumpster fire that it is. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. So, first I want to apologize for, the fact that, and I addressed it in the last video, the fact that I haven't been on as regular. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot of stuff going on and a lot of things in my family, some things that are kind of hard. And the main thing is, I'm, just really dealing with the fact that my best boy, Sam, is sick and he's not going to get better. And the best that I can do now is keep him as comfortable as I can and decide when is the right time that he's not having fun anymore. And it's interesting because through all this, I have some really hard stuff happening and I've got some really cool stuff happening. Starting the Twitch stream and participating more in that and working with a podcast and the voice acting stuff. I should get my demo tracks back and that'll be really cool. So it's almost like there's cool and there's horrible and there isn't a lot of middle of the road. And that is what I wanted to talk about, that it can be really hard. Even great things can be stressful. And it is just about finding balance point. And usually you find that balance point in that space in between. Well, I can't. I am having a really hard time because I'm at the polar opposite ends. And so that part in the middle where moderation comes in is really, really challenging for me to reach, because it seems like one thing will happen and then another thing will happen and another thing will happen. And it's tremendously challenging to be able to try to, navigate my way back to the balance point, back to my eye of the storm. And with varying success. And I considered just not broadcasting for a while, not doing the Blog Talk Radio, not doing the YouTube, or just coming on for a quick 5-minute, life is fun till it isn't, and it sucks till it doesn't, and right now it sucks, so see you on the other side. And I felt that it was important to share this process, because the thing is, this is the type of process that puts everything that I believe, everything that I teach, all of those things come together in this. I mean, for me to share this particular space where, it's not easy. And it's, there have been other times when it wasn't easy, but overall, I was doing pretty good. And when a whole bunch of things happen all at once, like for anybody, and the fact that energetically, the energetic field is filled with fear and loss and anger and all kinds of stuff. That's just where we're at right now. It's not saying that those positive things don't exist or that you can't find them, which you can. I promise you, they can be found. And it can be really hard sometimes. And it can be really challenging to, really have to walk that talk. And yes, I could hide and only show you the serene Dr. Ayleen. And I don't want to do that. I've always told you the truth. And omission of the truth is still a lie. And I want to be honest with you that it's hard. And it is taking everything I have and all of my tools and all of my experience to allow myself to move through, because ultimately what I'm doing is grieving. I've had a lot. I mean, I started this year with the loss of my brother. And it seems that that grief process has just had different grieving aspects added to it. And yes, my home is still here. And I will never quite see it the same, though. It will never be as safe as I always thought it was. And that is hard. And, I live alone with just Sam and Luna. And Sam is always, for over a decade, Sam has been there for me and listening to my stuff and accepting me unconditionally in that wonderful way that animals do. And he was a part of my safe place. And now I'm accepting that soon he won't be here. I believe that his spirit will still be here for me, and he won't be. And that's hard, because at a time when I really count on those things that help me feel safe and help me find my balance, he's a major part that is going to be gone. And, this whole year has been about transition and it's almost like, something gets taken away and something else gets put in. And so I feel like it's this bizarre game of Jenga where, one thing is sliding out and another thing is sliding out. And yet the tower stands, but what will be the one to knock it over? And I know that I have a lot of people who love and care about me. And, I know if you're watching this, you care about me. And that it means the world to me. It honestly does. And I also want to stay in that place of authenticity while at the same time understanding that, that a part of that authenticity means that I have to show, those parts of me that I feel, that I am not as comfortable with, my insecure part, because I do have that insecure part. I'm working on losing weight and, and I've been working, actually, it's going pretty well. I mean, I'm sure you can't really tell yet, but, I've lost almost 20 pounds. And today I was feeling really stressed. And see, my issue is that I go to food for comfort. I go to food because that's what fills up that gap in between. And it's always been a part of my balance. It's always been, a part of, my go-to in order to ground and to, kind of balance things out. Well, now I need to choose to do healthier things for myself, or I choose to do healthier things for myself. And yet I'm still challenged by the patterns of seeking comfort through it. And I made myself a nice healthy lunch, and then I had some more. And then I actually told myself, stop eating. And it was actually kind of empowering because there was no one here. Nobody here to see me. And I had to literally tell myself, stop eating. And, then it was like, okay, all right, let me think about this. Let me, it's okay. That part of me that is scared and upset and wants to, because all my favorite memories as a child were around food. They were around family meals. They were around my mother's cooking, and trying to get that back when I feel insecure. I want to go for that. And so, the foods I crave are fried foods, salty things, carbs, stuff like that. So I realized I'm not okay, and I will be okay. I know that. And it's not just, fake it till you make it type of thing. No, I know ultimately I'm going to be okay. And ultimately, I will come out the other side of this much wiser and with more tools. And it's spanning, finding my way from the extremes back into my center. And that's probably the trickiest part for most people. And consider, how do you find your way back to your center, find your way back to your core? Is it something that is positive? Or is it something that may be, not so helpful for you, but it makes you feel better at the moment? And it's amazing how tricky it can be to work our way back from the parts that are extreme, from, the polar opposites. And, in some cases, it's everything is going absolutely wrong and it's hard and, and it's almost like, you're at an uphill. So you're trying to crawl your way back up to get it to level off. Now, there are cases where everything is going right, or at least there is the appearance of everything going right. You hear about people who seem to be on the top of the world and have everything that anybody else would ever dream of, that everybody else would ever envy, the kind of life that most people would, donate a spare organ for. And yet they are not in balance. And many of them suffer with depression. And, some have, just had that manifest in some really tragic ways. But see, in that case, you've got, the slant and they're at the top, but they always feel like they're sliding down and they can't maintain it. And maybe being so far up here, they feel that they're detached from the people around them. So, no matter which end, whether you're at the bottom or whether you're at the top, it can be difficult because even at the top, you're not in balance. And when we can bring it to the level point, and we're not either here or here, we're right in the middle. Being able to look at everything from a more balanced perspective. It can be really, really challenging. Now, in my case, where I've got stuff going on at both ends, and it's like I feel stuck out there. And through the process of all the different things that have gone on, I'm really challenged at finding the core where I don't attach to either one. I'm kind of caught in both. And it's hard. And I'm sure many of you have felt something along that spectrum. And, and sometimes, especially if things are going well or people believe things are going well in your life and you try to express yourself, sometimes it can be like, well, you've got all this stuff that's great. What are you complaining about? You've got nothing to complain about. And, the fact that my home is still here. It's like, well, you must be really happy your home is there. And yet there's a part of me that isn't, which may sound weird. I mean, I'm truly glad my home made it. And yet the security that I had attached to it is no longer here. That's gone. So when we're trying to figure out how to get back to our core, a part of that is to be really, really honest with ourselves and not get caught up in what other people think our situation is, or not to get caught up in what other people believe should make us happy, or, where we should be in our headspace. A lot of people and well-meaning want to tell you, well, just feel better, just be grateful, just be happy. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we won't. Sometimes we're just going to deal with the fact that we hurt. And maybe you're not even sure why you hurt. And after an entire year of craziness, and we've talked about lately about reclaiming 2020 and taking it back, a part of the journey of taking it back for me is really to take a look at how wounded I have been by it acknowledge that, allow myself to grieve that, and then move forward. It's like part of my life is moving forward, part of my life is, moving back, and it's just this tug of war that is really uncomfortable. Are you feeling that tug? Are you feeling that pull? Are you feeling, there's a lot going on, and 2020 is the gift that keeps on giving. And there are gifts, if we can find them. But the thing is, you don't have to look for them right away. You can just say it sucks. You can just be in that moment with it. Be authentic. Because taking 2020 back is not about, fake. It's not about lying to ourselves. It's not about lying to to other people. It's not about faking it till you make it. No. Taking back 2020 is about truth. It's about knowing your truth and knowing that by creating something that represents your truth, because your truth is that you are an amazing person, that you are a strong person, that you are a resilient person, and that you may have been knocked down to your knees, but you didn't go to the ground and you stood up again. And the only way we can truly embrace that is to have it be true. And a part of that truth is facing those things that just weigh us down, to acknowledge them, to accept their existence and their reality in your life. And just because you accept that they are real in your life does not mean that you accept that they are more powerful than you, which they are not. Events are not more powerful than us. They are simply experiences. And whether they're great experiences or lousy experiences, they end up leading us to growth. They lead to transformation. They lead to gained wisdom. Now, I will figure out how to find my way back to the center. And a part of that is being able to talk to, friends who support me, to be able to kind of set aside Dr. Ayleen for a little bit and just be Ayleen. And to be able to walk my path with as much integrity as I can, including being sad, including grieving. And yes, I'm still figuring out, and a part of what I am going to be creating for 2021 is a healthy body. So today, when I acknowledged that I was using food and that I was eating compulsively, or I was beginning to eat compulsively, and I told myself, stop eating. And I nurtured myself. That was me nurturing myself. That was me saying, you're better than this. And I told myself, we can do this. Yes, when you live alone in a cabin in the woods, you can talk to yourself. And just reminding myself, I can do this. I know it's scary, but we don't have to eat. We can do other things. We can breathe. We can drink water. We can jog in place. We can, and I started thinking of all the things that I can do. And a part of that was this. A part of that was making this recording, because I was, like I said, I was sitting around thinking, it's like, well, it really isn't going to matter if I do or I don't. And it was important in that moment that I did, that I took a positive step, because of all the things in my life I cannot control. That means that the things I can control are that much more special. It's hard. And if you're going through it, I totally feel you, and I get it, and I'm sorry you're going through it. And we can do this. We can overcome our fear. We can overcome our survival tools that don't serve us. we can overcome that and create something. And maybe what you want to create is the removal of habits in your life that do not serve you. They may have once, and they were a part of your survival, and that's not a bad thing. It's just being able to make other choices, to decide, you know what? I feel really good that I'm losing weight. I don't want to go back. I don't want to give up. Because as long as you don't give up, you can never lose. As long as you don't give up, it's always leads you somewhere. It's scary. And sometimes we have to stop and take a pause and take a breath. It's okay to pause. It's okay to, catch your breath and get your balance back and find your eye of the storm again. And then you keep going. Because everything that you want is at the other end of that path. And all you have to do to get to it is keep going and not give up. I'm not going to give up. And I know you have it in you not to give up. So how about we be strong together, okay? How about we make it to the end of that path together? And then we can talk about how cool it was and how brave we were and how strong we are. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn around and we're going to see other people struggling and we're going to say, you know what? How about we give them a hand? How about we let them know that they can make it too? We can be those cheerleaders at the finish line and tell them, come on, don't give up. It's okay. So I'm not giving up, and neither are you, because we're better than that. We're better than what faces us. We're better than our challenges, because ultimately those challenges are going to serve to make us even more. So it's not easy. Then again, most of the best things in our lives weren't easy. And it just made it that much sweeter when we achieved it. So thank you for joining me. And I will still be posting, at least a few times a week, at least, 2 to 3 times a week. So I will keep you posted, and please keep me posted about what's going on with you. And if there's any way that I can encourage and support you, I'm here. And you can reach me through the links in the description, my Facebook group, Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen. You can reach me on Discord. I'm now on Twitch, so visit the Twitch. If you're on Twitch, you can on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. I have a live stream. And that one is focused on, very much with the gaming community, because I do love my gaming. And, there's a lot of stress, and there's a lot of young people in the gaming communities that are having a hard time. And so, I want to be able to be there to support them. And so, go over there, check it out, follow if you like. And if you like this video, then please, you can like it, you can share it, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section. For those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, all those same links are in your description. And, also check out the Twitch channel. And I am also downloading or uploading the Twitch live streams to what is now my second YouTube channel, which is the Gaming Doc, and it's TH3 Gaming Doc. And the link for that is also in the description. So, again, thank you for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you, and see you next time. Bye.